society and the just government of man. We beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of such important trust in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in thy presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote thy honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interest thou hast committed to our charge. All which we ask in the name and for the sake of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. House resumes.
Madam Speaker, I rise to wind the debate on the supplementary appropriation.
One member had not spoken, eh?
Well, Madam Speaker, I'm not going to go this again, I'm not going to, I yielded last time. I am not prepared to yield this morning again. You can't be standing before me. Madam Speaker, I rise to wind the debate on the supplementary appropriation before the House. And I want to, first of all, Madam Speaker.
But you know, in all fairness, I usually say, House resume and debate continues. I really didn't say that. We have to be fair. I did not say it and debate continues. It just, I usually say it so that members know that they have to, that prompts members to rise. I did not say it. I'm very sorry to the House, but I think in that regard, the member needs to be given his chance to speak.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to make my contribution on the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2016-2017. Madam Speaker, but I had an opportunity to watch the Director of Audit report, and I just want to say one of the headlines there is the report focused on economy, efficiency, and effectiveness of the delivery of the public service in regards to spending. Madam Speaker, I also listen to members on the other side and members on my side. I would like to first of all commend the members on my side for a most brilliant delivery in the earlier days, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to place on the record that the supplementary appropriation was over 22% above budget. That is approximately $155 million, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, also, I heard some spirited debate on the other side, where I would say some of us were saying, and I specifically want to call some of the members. The member for Portsmouth, Madam Speaker, focused on the NEP and how it is one of the biggest and greatest social program. And Madam Speaker, I underline social program. Also, I heard the Honorable Minister for Public Works, and Ports, Honorable Miriam Blanchard, she mentioned about performance. So I will be touching on some of those things and shedding light on it, because I don't think performance is just based on spending, especially if you are running a ministry which is involved in project implementation of civil works. You must look at other benchmarks and other indicators for you to say that you have performed. So in that regard, and an overall approach I will be taking in my delivery there is one, did we deliver on time based on what time we set? One. What is the quality of what we actually got? What also the number of jobs created? Specific figures. Also, what is the growth rate? Because we keep talking about we perform. I'm not saying that they perform or didn't perform. That is for, Madam Speaker, through you, that is for the public to determine, Madam Speaker. Also, Madam Speaker, the question is in the whole economic space. What are the indicators you're using to say that we have hope and young people are feeling hopeful for the future? Are they staying in Dominica or are they leaving after you have spent what you actually plan to spend under the budget, and now you are further telling us to approve $155 million in addition? Madam Speaker, before I go into some of the substantive issues line by line, I would like to first of all focus on a certain matter. And for the avoidance of doubt, Madam Speaker, I would like, through you, Madam Speaker, I would like the entire Dominican public to understand that the United Workers' Party has never condemned the citizenship by investment as an idea or a source of financing, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, what we have placed, and as a matter of fact, Madam Speaker, whether you call it citizenship by investment or before it was the economic citizenship program, whether you call it a re-engineered program, Madam Speaker, at the end of the day, it is just one source of financing which we have, for example, if it's the economic citizenship program or if it's through taxes. These are just forms of financing your budget. So again, we are going to place on the record that what we have always said, that we have issues with the transparency, we have issues with the accountability, and also we had issues with the extent to which the due diligence process have been achieved by the government. And as the Prime Minister had said in some address, that he agreed that there is room for improvement. And that's what we have been saying. We are, Madam Speaker, we are all Dominicans. So all of us in Dominica, all of us, would really like to see, Madam Speaker, I hope you check in the minutes while they're disturbing there, Madam Speaker. No, Madam Speaker, I would say, Madam Speaker, the Labour Party administration, led by the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, I would say, have done significant work in regards to the social programs. So for that, I can say, and to some extent, I would say, in some instances, maybe even going too far. And we must, again, make them understand that we support most of the social programs. So when an elderly person comes for support, we have no problem with that, Madam Speaker. And it is a good move, Madam Speaker, when the Minister of Finance is doing such things. So we support that, Madam Speaker. Also, Madam Speaker, in the avoidance of doubt, Madam Speaker, we want the general public to understand, and the people of Roseau specifically to understand, that when there is an emergency situation, a health emergency situation, and the Minister of Finance, which is acting on behalf of all members of Parliament and on Dominicans' behalf, when he supports, we support that, and we have no problem with that, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, you'll see now I am saying where they are doing well in regards to their social program. They don't want me to say that. But again, I want the Dominican people to understand that I maintain my integrity when I say 99% statesman, 1% politician. If it is good, say it is good, Madam Speaker. That is my approach. And clap, man, clap, clap, yes. That is my approach, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker,
Order, please.
Madam Speaker, again, I came there as a professional, Madam Speaker, trying my best, no personal attacks, Madam Speaker. This approach of bullying, I would like them to relax on that, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, let us move now. Let us move to substance. Relax. If you want to try to get involved in politics, do it properly. Relax.
Crosstalks, please. Let us move on.
Yes. Yes.
The Senator, please.
And I hope, Madam Speaker, through you, that the general public is seeing that I'm trying to do a professional delivery, but they're disturbing. Okay, so let us go.
I'm not connected to them, you know, so I don't know the code.
Madam Speaker, let us move into, I'm just going to touch on the Ministry of Trade, Energy, and Employment.
So I don't know what happened.
Madam Speaker, $5.5 million have been, again, requested, or they want approval for that, Madam Speaker, an additional 5.5. Madam Speaker, interestingly, I had an engagement with some university students from the University of Virginia. I had the opportunity to deliver a coordinated discussion with them as part of their work yesterday, Madam Speaker. But interesting, Madam Speaker, they recognize, in a short time they have been here, they recognize, for example, the National Employment Program as almost like a welfare program, as the Minister of Trade said, is a big social program. So I'm quoting him, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we have over and over said that the National Employment Program is a good idea. It's a good idea, Madam Speaker. So we're not going to try to bring it down. But what we have said, Madam Speaker, you cannot, and I want to go back to what Honorable Senator Isaac Baptist said. If you keep spending more money on that program year by year, and even overspending every time, it is saying that the private sector is not absorbing the employees. That is why you have to keep spending over and over, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I said earlier again that what we need to evaluate is whether there is a trajectory of a population growth increase. Is it declining? Is it the same? Is it worse? These are some of the indicators that private sector people and people who want to invest in your country from overseas, that is foreign direct investment, these are one of the indicators they would look at. So I would like, in a respectful way, I'm asking the Prime Minister if he's going to round up. I would like him to tell us, where are we in terms of population growth? Are the young people staying? Are they leaving? What is the situation in this country? Are they hopeful, Madam Speaker? I'm not saying what it is. I'm asking, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, under the office of the Prime Minister, Madam Speaker, I've already said that anytime public support is given, especially in situation where it's for the elderly or for the people who are sick, Madam Speaker, we'll support that, Madam Speaker. But Madam Speaker, what we are saying is, you cannot now want to institutionalize a framework where you're going to have almost like regional public support programs in different parts of Dominica, Madam Speaker. What, in other words, your vision there is saying that you think things will be getting worse and worse, so you need to expand the program in order to solve the problem, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to just touch on the section on agriculture, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, during the budget address, and I'm talking about it again because this appropriation is an overspend on the budget, I asked my colleagues on the other side to please consider that if, for example, you have a national abattoir program, you should look at the entire industry. So, in regards to approval there, Madam Speaker, I have no problem to approve further monies. Although it is spent, it is water under the bridge. But I have no problem to approve, because under this program, Madam Speaker, that is where we have serious potential to have a positive impact, and not just based on talk, based on numbers. First question, again, the Minister of Agriculture have spoken already, so he cannot really come back and say anything. So I'm leaving it up to the Prime Minister again, Madam Speaker, to tell us, as of today, from project conception of the abattoir to now final phase of where we have trials and to some extent it has been commissioned, I'm asking how much money has been spent on capital and recurrent in regards to that particular project. That is first question. Another question is in regards to the actual utilization of that plant up there. What is the percentage of utilization? Is it at 5%, 10%, as compared to what its actual throughput supposed to be, Madam Speaker? I am saying that we have no problem to approve monies under that section because we see where the potential is. That is where, for example, significant effort under the NEP program, and I'll talk about small business after, should be placed to ensure that that can be a reality. Because I personally think it is a good initiative is a good idea, but again, not done properly in regards to the project implementation and planning, Madam Speaker. And I say that in a humble way, Madam Speaker. So I would say under that section, we need to go back to the drawing board, plan properly, and again, not every year we come in for a little bit of money to patch a hole. No, Madam Speaker. I'm saying let us do it properly. We on that side will support an effort such as that, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I've been in Dominica for many years, and that is where I've worked even when I worked for Colgate-Palmolive and I worked for the OECS. I was in Dominica. Also, I've invested in several businesses in Dominica without any help from the Labour Party administration. Some would understand that I'm involved in the service industry, which is the restaurant. I've been involved in implementing a project in tourism, ecotourism, dealing with cottages, and also I have an active farm. Right now, as I speak, people are on the farm working sustainable jobs. So, Madam Speaker, having said that, I would like to shed some light in regards to the small business section, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, 5.2 million have been spent in that section. But Madam Speaker, I want people to understand, through you, Madam Speaker, that Joseph Isaac is all for personal development and would never say, do not help people in regards to small business, Madam Speaker. So, anyhow you can help a person to develop themselves personally, Madam Speaker, I will support it. However, Madam Speaker, I think we need to know how we are approaching things. We cannot approach small business development in a haphazard way. One of my colleagues on the other side spoke about research. Madam Speaker, I went on the Government of Dominica website, specifically the small business development area. And it speaks clearly as to the areas. It talks about industry. It talks about manufacturing. It speaks in terms of their mandate, based on their vision and mission statement, Madam Speaker. But the Honorable Minister, when she was delivering in regards to small business and enterprise development, she did not give us any indicators to say, well, for example, based on my research again, Madam Speaker, in regards to the budgetary allocation and the supplementary estimate, business in terms of people receiving or committing or getting commitment from the small business unit is about 1,000 to 1,100 people, Madam Speaker. But Madam Speaker, if you look at it on the surface, you'd say, oh, that is great. That is great. But Madam Speaker, if you have been involved in small business yourself for most of your life, then you understand the pitfalls and the challenges. So you must come to the Honorable House and give some ideas, Madam Speaker. Not that you want to be negative because you are seeing how things are going wrong. Because, Madam Speaker, can you imagine I received testimonial from some people where the people are saying that ministers of government come and knock on their door to ask them, what do you want? How can I help you? And the minister that is doing that, it is not even his ministry, Madam Speaker. Testimonial, knocking on the door. So that approach is wrong, Madam Speaker. So you know who's doing it? Nice. So you know who's doing it. So it's knocking on people's door. And hear that, Madam Speaker. The Labour Party had a meeting.
Order, please.
A meeting in Portsmouth. Somebody told me again that a minister came to her, and it's her I saying this time, and said, hey, we're going to give you some money, but you have to show up there. You understand? You cannot run small business like that. You cannot, Madam Speaker. So.
Point of order. Let me hear. Point of order. Let me hear. Yes.
Madam Speaker, the honourable member is imputing improper motives, Madam Speaker.
Okay, member, I was going to, even before he said, you have highly imputed improper motive, and you need to withdraw that.
Madam Speaker, I don't know how, but I withdraw, Madam Speaker. Yes.
The member, are you saying you're really saying that you don't know how? You don't?
Yeah, but I withdraw, Madam Speaker, so it's not a problem. It's okay.
No, I just want to know because I would have to give you a little lecture, you see, if you didn't know what improper motive is.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Okay, so you do know?
No, Madam Speaker, I say
I asked you if you know what improper motive is.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Good. Well, we're clear on that.
Yes,
then.
yes.
Continue.
But, Madam Speaker, as I said, we've drawn, Madam Speaker. So we have no problem there, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, so I am saying, Madam Speaker, if we are talking about small business development, just like Antigua, Barbados, and they have passed legislation, how many years ago, Madam Speaker? Over 8 years ago, in regards to small business. I'm not blaming the Honorable Minister alone if, for example, small business legislation is not passed. I'm saying that the entire cabinet, because we have members who have been in politics for many years, they should be leading and showing the experience, Madam Speaker. So I'm saying that we should have small business legislation to ensure that the policies that the Labour Party administration is talking about is reflected in legislation where it is open and transparent for everybody, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I had the opportunity to sit down and start thinking of really what we have done in the budget cycle. We said, that is the Labour Party side, Madam Speaker, the majority side in the House. They said that under small business, that they place in aid bank, 10 million for agriculture. They said under small business again, they place 15 million, well, business, enterprise development, 15 million for tourism. Madam Speaker, recently there, less than a month ago, after how many months passed in the budget cycle, after they promised the musicians and people involved in creative arts, they placed $1 million in the aid bank, Madam Speaker. But Madam Speaker, when I add all that, that is $26 million just in aid bank. But people come there in this honorable house, grandstanding, saying Labour can travail, but they cannot tell us what is the drawdown on those funds, Madam Speaker. What is the drawdown? Is it 10% drawdown? Is it 5%? Is it 15%? What it is? If you, for example, put $26 million in the aid bank at low interest rate, and drawdown is 50%, no, I will come and clap you. I have no problem with that. I have no problem to say that a man is doing well when he's doing well. But I cannot come in this honorable house and say, okay, well, under the appropriation section that deals with giving more money for small business development, I'm going to say, okay, well, yeah, I'm just going to willy-nilly just approve after it is spent anyway. So I'm saying, if you say that you are performing, and since most of the speakers have gone, I know we have 2 senior members in the house there, I would really like them to shed some light for me. And I'm talking respectfully, Madam Speaker. That is the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Minister Austri. I know they haven't spoken. But I'm asking, what is the drawdown? What are the indicators and the benchmark you're using to say that you are performing well? Madam Speaker, it is a worldwide understanding that startup businesses, around 80% of them fail within the first 3 years of startup. The question is, yes, we have given, for example, let's say 1,000 small business assistants in terms of grant at the ministry level. Yes, we have placed money in the aid bank. The question is, what is the statistics in terms of survival rate? Madam Speaker, the question is again, what is the statistics in terms of those that have started up? How many people have they employed? And if they have employed people, Madam Speaker, again, what was their sales? Their sales start at zero, so we can say, right now we invest $26 million, draw down it X amount, and it has a significant impact on jobs, and it has a significant impact on sales.
You have 4.5 minutes left.
So, Madam Speaker, let me touch, Madam Speaker, on tourism and Roosevelt development, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we understand that the city is the tourism portal for Dominica. That's where people enter, and that's where most of them, like the first thing they see. Madam Speaker, there was a project called the Roosevelt Reinstatement Project, with proper studies, plans, designs, everything, Madam Speaker. So we make a first move. Some of us in here on the other side, first opportunity to be a minister of government, we build a bridge without tendering. That's the first major blunder for $18 million. The question is, again, that's why I'm not talking personal, I talking to the conscience. If you are building something for $18 million, no tender, you need to tell the public how much money did it actually cost when you estimated it, in terms of your estimate. And then you can tell the people, well, I am saving X amount. That is when you grandstand. You cannot tell us how much you have saved. As a matter of fact, what you have actually done, in terms of, remember when I started, I spoke about efficiency and effectiveness. What you have actually done to the state and the people of Dominica is giving significant profits to people outside. That's what you have effectively done.
Please, that is imputing improper motive.
But profits is a normal word.
Withdraw, please.
Withdrawn, Madam Speaker. Withdrawn, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, when we start and we say we're trying to develop Roseau, Madam Speaker, we cannot now start a project in Kennedy Avenue. And when you look at the levels of the sidewalk, right now, the people who are doing it, they don't even have a drawing. They have to actually break up certain parts of the sidewalk and rebuild it even before the concrete is dried. And I passed there this morning again. Imagine the elevation. Water will be going in some of the private businesses inside the building because of the elevation. No engineering, proper engineering drawings, etc. And I cannot blame the construction company. I'm blaming the minister responsible for that matter, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, we have to do things properly. We cannot say we're going to develop Roseau and we are not involving all the key stakeholders of Roseau. Madam Speaker, some of the key stakeholders of Roseau. One, the Pal Rep of Roseau, Madam Speaker. The City Council, Madam Speaker. Business owners, Madam Speaker. The people themselves of Roseau, you must call a consultation and say, let us discuss, how do you want Roseau? You understand? So, Madam Speaker, the development of Roseau is not just to come in the botanical gardens and do a fast food meal, and when you have your... With red shirt, Madam Speaker. If we are going to develop your city, just like any project, as I said earlier, Madam Speaker, what you need to do, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, through you, I'd like the public to see. Madam Speaker, through you, I'd like the public to see how the Honorable McIntyre is getting on, preventing me from talking, and I not even hit on the valley.
Order, please.
I not even hit on the valley to tell the minister.
Order, please. Order, please.
No, but are you burning?
Can we have a little silence? You have 1 minute left. Your time was up. I'm giving you the minute. I said your time was up because of all of this. I'm giving you the minute. Go ahead.
Okay.
1 minute to wind up.
Madam Speaker, in order to develop Roseau or to develop Dominica, we cannot do it alone. And this rhetoric that if you have different views to me, I'm not including you. I'll bypass you. So in Roseau South, you have an elected MP, they'll try to bypass him. When you go to Salisbury, they'll try to bypass the MP. So, Madam Speaker, I'm saying we are willing to work. I'm offering my services free, my ideas. Madam Speaker, no, I'm talking about for other works, Madam Speaker. I'm offering it free, Madam Speaker, as a person who is a Dominican, and I'm saying that the rhetoric should not be that if we disagree on policy ideas and implementation, that you should say that people should go on another island. Madam Speaker, I'm closing and saying to you, through you, Madam Speaker and Dominicans, let us build this beautiful country as opposition and the government together, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
You talking already? Madam Speaker, first of all, I wish to commend the members on the government side who made their contribution to the supplementary appropriation. I believe the presentation was well researched, it was very detailed, and their oratory skills and the manner in which they conduct themselves have received tremendous public commendation. In particular, Madam Speaker, the Minister for Public Works and Ports, whose presentation was exceptional, and there has been widespread commendation for her presentation. And Madam Speaker, the presentation to the side of the government speak to the passion with which the members of government take their job and representing the interests of the people of Dominica. I listened to the other side, Madam Speaker.
Tell me.
And a lot of misinformation. Deliberate misinformation. I would say lies, Madam Speaker, but lies may not be parliamentary.
What is the name of the bill? Because members will not know the name of the bill. That is not making sense.
I would say dishonest, Madam Speaker, but you may ask me to withdraw it.
I'm busy now.
I may say, Madam Speaker, I mean, if you're a member of parliament, paid for by the taxpayers of the country, the least you could do is to seek to represent their interests, to make life better for them. And when a member of parliament stands in the Parliament of Dominica and says to the parliament and to the world that this is not his responsibility, it is the responsibility of the village council. That's what the member for Marigot said here in the parliament. That it is not for him to make representation.
Point of order, yes? Which order? Pardon?
The minister.
Point of order.
Clarification.
No. Point of clarification is not done like that. No, you rose on a point of order.
Let the Prime Minister say what he wants. It's okay, ma'am.
No, I'm going to talk to you because this is not what it's all about. You rose on a point of order. I had the member to sit so I could entertain you. A point of clarification does not entitle you to stand and stop a member from speaking. And so you must be careful. And then, member, read the rules. Continue reading the rules. That's all I'll say.
Thank you, Madam. You see, the truth offends, Madam Speaker. Because I believe that if the constituents in those constituencies had representation, much more could be done for these people. Madam Speaker, I believe that I may be the one in this parliament that has the most responsibilities. And I suspect I may be the one with the busiest schedule. But I have never forgotten my primary responsibility. That is to be the member of parliament for the Vacas constituency. And to represent their interests. Notwithstanding the fact that I am the Prime Minister, and notwithstanding the fact that I am the Minister of Finance who has to authorize the funds, there are many times I write to my colleague ministers about matters affecting my constituency. And I say, sir, look, I have some edge failures in Ogen, and that road needs to be done. And I write to the minister and copy to the PS and say, look, can you send an engineer there? I'll be available for Thursday at 11 o'clock in the morning. Let's meet on site. I've said to them that the road, Gilly Pemble Road, we've done some work there, but it is bad. Send an engineer there. Let us do it every 1,000 feet so we can have different contracts for different contractors, so we can do it face by face. I write letters. I would write to the Minister for Health and say, look, we're going to build a new health center. I would suggest that we do it in a new site. And here's a new site. I have spoken to the landowners. Here are the numbers for the landowners. I write to the Minister for Health. Copy to his PS. I write to the Minister of Mr. Austri, the Minister of Housing, and say, sir, look, there's some constituents who have come to me, I've been to their homes in deplorable condition. Will you please send your officer from Portsmouth to visit them, to do estimates for them? When those estimates come here, and I sit down and say, okay, well, we need some money, and so additional money, and monies are made available for them. So notwithstanding the fact that I may be the busiest member of parliament here, I make time for the constituents. And that is what the opposition is failing to do for the people. They have time to write on all sorts of nonsense, Madam Speaker, all sorts of foolishness that will not change the price of sugar on the shelves. But they do not have the time to go and see how their constituents are living, what can be done to improve their lives. All they want to do, Madam Speaker, all the opposition elements in this country is to create havoc and destruction. That is what it is. And then they come, I'm responding to you. I'm responding to you. And they come here, Madam Speaker, and want to upstage each other. Clearly there is a leadership struggle. Clearly there's a leadership struggle. Clearly, Madam Speaker, that there is the majority of members on the opposition side who believe that the leadership of the leader of the opposition is found wanting. Is found wanting. Austri and McIntyre are my strongest. So, Madam Speaker.
1 minute, please. Can we, I just want to point out something to the member so that he can appreciate why sometimes the proximity to members on this side is very close to the people who they seek to. The members shouting over, oh, I stopped her, but she's a little further away and less likely to be heard because she's not on a mic. Members, please, let us just do this properly now. There's so much else going on.
So Madam Speaker, when members come and say, I have 99% statesman and 1% politics, who are you saying that to? Who are you saying that to, Madam Speaker? And when you say, Madam Speaker, when you publicly in the parliament now, you disassociate yourself. You disassociate yourself with some of the pronouncements made by the leader of the opposition. I mean, Pastor, if you want to be the leader of the Workers' Party, go and talk to the delegates. Talk to delegates. I mean, we saw a press conference and so on, where the leader was to tell you, go and do your business, go ahead. Go ahead. And the leader was right next door when you had the press release and said he's unavailable. So, Madam Speaker, and I hear talk about overspending. I mean, if you do not know what supplementary appropriation is, ask the question. Overspending. And we take this level of ignorance, Madam Speaker, from Dominica. And the very same people who come in and talk about overspending in Parliament export it. They export it. They export ignorance. And then there's a lady with Jamaican accent on the program last night saying, what is overspending? Are you saying that the government is responding to post-tropical storm Erica issues? Couldn't have those monies be spent on those things? And then he comes to talk about money laundering and Dominica, and then he says, but look, the whole Caribbean. It's not a Dominica issue, it's the whole Caribbean, the whole world. Anytime you have money, you always have the opportunity for money laundering. And even the United States program, the United States itself has said that the US is susceptible to money laundering. What we have to do, and what we have been doing, and what we have done, is to put legislation in place and systems in place to either eradicate it or minimize its presence. But there's a growing, and then you speak like that, and he has something, the leader has something like that doing. And as if when he does that, intelligence comes upon him. But Madam Speaker, I mean, my colleagues laugh, but I'm laughing this thing, you know. This is serious. This is serious, Madam Speaker. This is a gentleman, Madam Speaker, who wants to be Prime Minister and Minister of Finance and who doesn't understand the term supplementary appropriation. And Madam Speaker, they talk about we give help only to constituencies led by the Labour Party, which is the facts before us. The facts before us tell us this is a lie. The facts before us tell us a lie. We are spending more money on roads in the Roosevelt North constituency than mine. Than mine. And the member of Salisbury, Madam Speaker, he comes here, and I sat with him. Madam Speaker. And all of the points that we spoke about, Madam Speaker, the majority of them have effective. I asked him, Madam Speaker, I asked member of Salisbury, sir, get me the estimates for the basketball court. I haven't gotten that. Sir, get me the names of people in Salisbury, Monrachet and Kulibistri who need washrooms, Madam Speaker. Since November up to now, I haven't gotten one name. One name, Madam Speaker. Should I, when we engage them, they're not serious about people? So what I have done, Madam Speaker, is to use the voluntary services of Nichols Shanks Esprit. And I got the names, Madam Speaker, and I have approved, he's a member of Parliament. He's a member of Parliament. He's a member of Parliament. And Madam Speaker, I have so far, Madam Speaker, approved some 40 washrooms for the Salisbury constituency, Madam Speaker. 40 washrooms. I mean, and you know, so clearly, Madam Speaker, they're not serious. So, if a Parliament has an issue in his constituency, he writes to me as Minister of Finance or write to the ministers concerned. We'll respond. We'll respond. But notwithstanding you, we continue to help the people of the community, Madam Speaker. I organize, Madam Speaker, I'm the member of Parliament for Vickers, you know. I'm the member of Parliament for Vickers, you know. And I organize, Madam Speaker, meetings with the youths in Rosa South, meeting with them myself. I organized, Madam Speaker, a small business meeting in Rosa North where over 200 people showed up. What 200 people? 200 people, Madam Speaker. I'm sure you
the member for Rosa North. Just one moment, please.
I'm sure you want some wipes too.
The member for no, this is unparliamentary. Please withdraw. Please withdraw.
Wipes, Madam Speaker?
Yes.
I know not. Okay,
please.
Wipes. We withdraw wipes. Madam Speaker. So we continue to do this. The member for Rosa Central, who apparently, Madam Speaker, is seriously worried about. Very seriously worried about, Madam Speaker, the movement.
The member for Rosa North, this is your last warning to be quiet. Your asides are too loud. I've told you so before. You can't be shouting across like that. You are very near to the stenographers. If you want the world to hear, you can go on your radio station and do it. If you come in here, you are to obey the rules of the House. The member, this is your last warning. Go ahead.
Madam Speaker, the member for Rosa Central appears to be concerned about the movement away from him in his constituency. And when he comes here with his rhetoric, Madam Speaker, his very shallow rhetoric, very insincere rhetoric, and says that he's supporting this, supporting that. Where were you? What were you doing when we launched the pilot program for the National Health Insurance Scheme? When the first beneficiary of that program came from a constituency? Where were you? Where were you to empathize with your constituents? People who supported you and who voted for you? Where were you to support them? Where were you? Yes. And you come in here. You come in here.
The member, please.
So
these questions are rhetorical questions. You don't answer. You know that very well. You know that very well. Please. Don't follow fashion.
Your leader opposes it, and you come here and say you support it. But we must show that we support things in a manifested way. In a manifested way. And you talk about small agriculture loans at the aid bank. 76 farmers. 76 farmers have benefited from this. 11 poultry farmers have gotten loans. 10 fishermen across Dominica have gotten loans. And 7 farmers who were in pigs. So, from what Jordan, look at it. I suspect, Madam Speaker, that he may have tried to get a loan, but I was saying to you that your background doesn't allow you to qualify for those loans.
Member.
Speaker, on a point of clarification.
No, we don't stand on points of clarification.
No, I can talk on that. Well, on a point of order then, Madam Speaker. On a point of order, Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister is imputing improper motive, Madam Speaker. He's imputing improper motive, Madam Speaker.
No.
He's imputing improper motive, Madam Speaker.
What was improper motive? Remember, come on, you know better than that.
No, but he's
take your seat,
he's
please.
casting aspersion. That's not true.
Take your seat, please.
And he's misrepresenting facts.
Take your seat,
no, but Madam
please.
Speaker, I cannot take my seat.
The member has not yielded to you. Please take your seat. The member, take your seat. If you can't take your seat, I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm going to ask you to leave if you won't take your seat this minute. And then I will have to ask the sergeant that I'm...
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Point of order.
Point of
Standing
order. Standing order 44.6. No member shall impute improper motives
that
to
was
any
not
member.
An improper motive. Take your seat.
And the House. Madam Speaker, I'm not finished. Madam Speaker. I'm reading the standing order on which I'm making the point of order. 44.6. No member shall impute improper motives to any member of the House or indulge in personalities except on a substantive motion moved for the purpose.
Well, if I had to...
Clearly in violation.
I am not agreeing with you. I am overruling you. Because if I had to make a ruling based on what you just said, no member would say anything about any member in the House. Take your... continue, please.
Madam Speaker.
The member, shall I ask for you to be escorted out if you won't keep quiet?
Madam Speaker.
The member for... you know, if you want to go, I don't have to ask you to leave, you know. Except when you're in here. Except when you are in here. Member for Roseau North, please contain yourself. I do believe I have to prepare a calming brew before I come in here, you know.
So,
a calming brew.
Madam Speaker, clearly this, you see, I sat there and I could have raised objection to 90% of what they said. But this is the parliament. We can fire some shots and so on, but when a response is given, we must be able to take it. And all I'm doing here is giving the facts. You ask for facts, I'm giving you the facts. You ask me to give you facts, I'm giving you facts. I am saying to you, Madam Speaker, to the member for Roosevelt Central, through you, Madam Speaker, that this is not money we have placed at the bank where somebody can just show up and get money. There's a process. There are certain requirements. There are certain banking principles which must be followed because the money is in the bank. And I'm saying, Madam Speaker,
Madam Speaker, I want to move that the Honorable Prime Minister be given an additional 20 minutes to complete his response.
Seconded, Madam Speaker. Seconded.
It has been moved and seconded that the member be given a further 20 minutes to complete his winding up. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? No. The ayes so have it.
But Madam Speaker, you would agree that you should give me extra time, because I was interrupted more than half of the time, eh? But I'll go to 20 minutes. So, Madam Speaker, supplementaries come, and you see, the lawyers are not idiot. The drafters of the Constitution and the laws of Dominica recognize that you cannot hold the state into a straitjacket. That notwithstanding the fact that you have a budget, that there will always be need where you have to spend. And yes, we could have put $10 million for public support. And in the case we put 1.5. But if somebody comes to the government with an urgent medical condition, should we say to the person to wait for the new budget? You visit a home where an 83-year-old lady is living, or a family with children and the homes are leaking, and the funds which Parliament has already budgeted for have been consumed. So I say to them in the month of January to wait till August. You go to a community, before the budget, the road was fine, rain came, it washed it away. Should we tell the farmers of Salisbury, Gorman, that wait for the new budget and don't send the $400,000 to them? The pipes in Lower Salisbury needed to be replaced by Doasco, and we had to reinstate the roads because the roads in Lower Salisbury was bad. Should we tell the people of Lower Salisbury that we should wait for the new budget? We came in and we assisted. We assisted. But, Madam Speaker, the Marigot Village Council has $300,000 for washrooms. $300,000 for washrooms. People need the help because there are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people living in Marigot, Madam Speaker, who need washrooms. And Marigot and all of Dominica is part of the program to eradicate pit latrines in our country. And we're committed to that. So the issue of supplementary, Madam Speaker, is something that has always happened in this Parliament. They're speaking about this as if it is something foreign. And they come here, Madam Speaker, too, and they say that they're in support of the CBI. Every action, Madam Speaker, these people have taken, Madam Speaker, is to undermine and destroy the program. Every action, every utterance. Never have we heard any one of them, Madam Speaker, say anything constructive or positive about the program. Anytime they have an opportunity to speak, is to destroy. Is to destroy, Madam Speaker. To destroy. And marketing and promotion. Every country in the world, including those in the Caribbean, who has a program, has a marketing firm. Whether it's Malta, whether it's Antigua and Barbuda, whether it's Grenada, whether it's St. Lucia, whether it's St. Kitts, whether it's Dominica, every country with such a program has a marketing firm. But the leader of the opposition, Madam Speaker, speaks as if this is something that only occurs in Dominica. So they come here and they speak about other programs and how good they're doing. And they have the same elements. So the question is, whose interests are you serving? Whose interests are you serving? Is it H&P? Or is it the Commonwealth of Dominica, Madam Speaker? Whose interests? Because it is clear by the utterances of these people, Madam Speaker, that it is not Dominica's. It is not Dominica's. And when they're talking about CS Global or any other agent, Madam Speaker, the very same people who are criticizing the agents and the promoters of Dominica are the very same people who had signed agreements, Madam Speaker, with H&P. That if they come into office, they will not only make them the promoters, but make them the exclusive agent. Eliminate every single Dominican who has been part of the program from its inception. Every one of them, Madam Speaker. And these guys have no interest in Dominica. No interest in Dominica, Madam Speaker. Lazy, deceptive, Madam Speaker. These words I could use them, but you may say they're unparliamentary, Madam Speaker. So I won't use them. So I will say to people, Dominica, that every opportunity we have, once the resources are available, we will help improve their way of life. And I've made it clear, Madam Speaker, that no one in this country is going to stop me from helping people who really need help. And when the member for Roosevelt Central talks about small business, Madam Speaker, and I would think that as a quote-unquote businessman himself, that he would come there with a more empathetic view about small business people. But I almost sense a somewhat, well, give me some tuna, man. Where's mine? That is, no, but you don't want to apply because you may be exposed. But, Madam Speaker, I can tell you, Madam Speaker, that the people of this country who are benefiting from a small business support can tell you how great that has been to them. Because you don't understand, Madam Speaker, because they don't know people. They don't go into people's homes. When they go into communities, it's to mobilize people to gather stones. When we go, it's to build this country. To make life better for people, Madam Speaker. And there are many people across Dominica who engage themselves in productive and constructive things. People who are doing cocoa, who need the machine instead of having to do manual. People who are doing the virgin coconut oil, exporting this to Guadeloupe. And I believe, Madam Speaker, I believe that the economy is not capturing that sector properly, Madam Speaker. That the economy is not capturing the statistics correctly. Because most of the people who export, Madam Speaker, will may export using the ferry, for example. But there's a huge business in Dominica. Virgin coconut oil, wines, Madam Speaker, confectionaries. A number of people are involved in this. And I have seen, Madam Speaker, based on my interaction with people who were unemployed. And as a result of the small business unit, they have been employed now, Madam Speaker. But not only are they employing themselves, they're employing other people, Madam Speaker. I have seen people who have businesses and who need the extra support. And because of the extra support, Madam Speaker, they have been able to sustain their businesses. I have seen people expand to employ more people. And that's what we're doing. And it is reaching people. It is making a huge difference, Madam Speaker. And what the Ministry of Commerce, Small Business Development is doing, and I must commend them publicly for their efforts, Madam Speaker, is that we are also providing training for them. And we're also following up on them. So it's not only about just give them the check, we are giving them the training, and we're following up to see how they're doing as time goes by. So this is a serious program. And when they come here, Madam Speaker, and criticize the NEP, every country, including developed countries, Madam Speaker, have such programs. Have such programs, Madam Speaker. And the NEP is making a huge difference in the lives of hundreds of people, hundreds of families. Madam Speaker, I get the impression that anything that is good for people, anything that's helping people, the opposition has a problem with it, Madam Speaker. And I mean, it is a way of giving children and young people practical experience. Because when you come from university, Madam Speaker, you may have the academic knowledge, the book knowledge, but you need to have this now transformed and translated into the practical knowledge. And I can tell you that a number of young people who have come through the NEP have been exemplary to the point where the employers now have them on full-time employment paid for by the employer now. So there are people, Madam Speaker, who are graduating out of the NEP. Graduating out of the NEP. You know what I'm saying? Graduating out, Madam Speaker. The fact is, we want to build a country that is beautiful and that is clean, and young people and middle-aged people are prepared to play their part, and we're utilizing the NEP to foster that kind of culture in our society. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with somebody helping to keep his country clean? What is wrong with somebody helping to keep his country beautiful? Why are we making people believe that their station in life is not worth living for? Why? Why, Madam Speaker? So, we are committed to this, Madam Speaker. Clearly, we do not have the help. We do not have the help of the opposition in building this country. And we will continue to build Dominica with the help of the majority of Dominicans, Madam Speaker. And we've launched, Madam Speaker, a community road enhancement program across Dominica to improve roads in the villages, in the communities. The Minister for Constituency Empowerment told you some 84 roads are under construction now. As a matter of fact, Madam Speaker, there's so much construction taking place in Dominica that the suppliers of cement are having a difficulty in supplying the quantity of cement required in the country. And I have directed the Minister for Trade and Economic Development to meet with the suppliers of cement to see how government can assist in addressing the serious shortage of cement in Dominica. And the importers of cement are telling you that the majority of cement which they buy, they'll drop it off in Dominica because a lot of construction activities are taking place in Dominica. And when they come here, Madam Speaker, they say that they're 99% statesmen. I don't know what that means, Madam Speaker. I don't know what that means, Madam Speaker. But when a developer like Sam Raphael, Madam Speaker, I may call his name, Madam Speaker, in a positive way. Sam Raphael, Madam Speaker, developer. He invited every member of parliament, Madam Speaker, and not even the one who says that he is 99% statesman and 1% politician, Madam. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up, Madam Speaker. He did not show up. You understand what I'm saying? Did not show up. Did not show up, Madam Speaker, to show solidarity. Jobs created, Madam Speaker, and there are about 50 or so young men and women from Soufriere, Point Michel, Galion, Scott said, employed on that project as we speak. As we speak. The local architect being Mr. What's his name? Stephen McKenzie. Dominicans benefiting from this CBI. And you know what they did, AG? You know what someone did, Madam Speaker? They drove by in different vehicles to see what really happened in there the day after. So, when we talk about 99% states managers and 1% politician, Madam Speaker, what does that mean? What does that mean? Clearly, Madam Speaker, the only interpretation I get from that is he's trying to show that he and his leader are different night and day, Madam Speaker. That they're far apart in their own perspective of things. And the member for Wesley said, look, I'm not in the stone throwing business for you know. If I want something for Wesley, I will write. I am not in the stone throwing, and Madam Speaker, he was doing that. If all you the camera, they're recordings for the Madam Speaker, we can see the recordings. He said, I am not in the stone throwing with you. Brave for what? You are
one. You know the member. You said something there. The member heard you. He's going to respond. You know, but you see the thing about it is, member, you're talking out of turn. You should not be speaking. You know, you all don't make life easy for me. Eh?
I mean, truth be told, for your level of academic qualifications, I find you very, very shallow.
I
mean, shallow, Madam Speaker, is a regular term. I mean, you know, I mean, what population? Dominica? 70,000?
But the member have told you, you cannot talk to the member whilst he's in the floor asking questions. Don't you understand that?
But
member, just one moment. Just one moment, please. This is not a bar. This is the House of Assembly where there are rules. The member just doesn't shout across to the member and expect an answer. This is not how it is done. This side talk should not be there. Improper. Listen, clearly the member for Roseau North. The member for Roseau North is saying, if you call somebody shallow, you're imputing improper motive. If that is the conclusion the member decides is imputing improper motive, I have a very tough task. Clearly he doesn't understand what imputing improper motive is.
But Madam Speaker,
he should ask his fellow members.
He's raising the question about population size.
Come on.
Growing. I mean, Madam Speaker, we can have studies on the population and why the population is growing as fast as it should. There are many countries in the world that are experiencing no growth in population. The fact remains, Madam Speaker, that the world is changing. And had it not been, for example, in the United States, immigrants, the population in the United States would be going down. The majority of babies born in the United States are born to immigrants. United Kingdom likewise. The fact is, Madam Speaker, the world is changing. There are people who are pursuing their careers and putting aside having children. There are countries in the world, Madam Speaker, to encourage population growth are providing allowances to parents and to the children up to 18 years old. The fact, Madam Speaker, I mean, look, the member of Salisbury has no children. The one from the Center for Casper has no children. I mean, when you look at this, Madam Speaker, ask them why. I mean, so there are a number of issues, Madam Speaker. let that one pass. Let that one pass. You see what I'm saying, Madam Speaker? So. So there are a lot of issues, Madam Speaker. And in some countries, to control population, they have to impose no more children per family. So there are a number of factors which will contribute to no population growth So if mob will dying and less babies are being born, you see it in schools. Where in some communities, Madam Speaker, one child every year being born, placing a serious burden on the state resources. Because you still provide for that one child. So to make it look like it is a political issue, why...
You have 1 minute left,
or
sorry.
criticism,
You have 1 minute left.
It's a political criticism why the population is not growing. I mean, we spend millions of dollars educating our people. But if, when they go to the United States, they figure they're greater past the United States, then they understand, what do you want us to do? I mean, I just approved, Madam Speaker, as Minister of Finance on a request from the Minister of Education, $7.2 million to pay for students studying overseas. $7.2 million, Madam Speaker. And that will come as a supplementary appropriation in the next time. Should we say to the students studying in the United States and UE and elsewhere,
your time is up,
Madam Speaker, that we should not pay for them because the budget is coming to an end? Wait for the next budget. We have to pay $7.2 million. So when you
last sentence,
asking for a
please.
response, Madam Speaker, and you get the responses, you should be taking notes and reconcile the untruths and mistruths that you guys have propagating out there. But the fact is, Madam Speaker, my final sentence, Madam Speaker, the fact is...
Was that a comma before then?
Yeah, it's a... Madam Speaker, I put a semicolon. Yeah, semicolon, Madam Speaker. I mean, when you come to the Parliament, rest assured, with your untruths, rest assured that the government is going to respond to you. When you're out there and you have control over the radio
I have
programs,
everything there,
that's what
Mr.
you want.
James.
But when you come to this Parliament, rest assured that this government will respond to you with the facts. And when we give the facts, it's clear you cannot take it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
This concludes the debate on the supplementary estimates. The supplementary estimate shall now be referred to the Committee of Supply of the whole House. House resumes, and I have to report that the supplementary estimates have passed through the committee supply with minor amendments. The question is that the supplementary estimates for $155,012,701.98 be approved. Those in favor?
Hold on.
1 second. There's something we need to. There's an amendment.
In 2.1, clause 2.1, the figure there has to be amended to reflect the schedule.
Say that again.
Clause 2.1.
Oh, but we just dealing with the supplementary bit. We go into that now, you know. We were just reading from there for ease.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay.
Second reading.
So is we going to do
First reading.
yes, okay?
Yeah.
So let me give the figure again for me to say that the question is that the supplementary, oh, we said it. I was asking, those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. Okay. So the supplementary estimates have been approved. Now we are going to the appropriation bill.
Madam Speaker, I move that the bill shortly entitled Supplementary Appropriation 2016-2017 Act 2017 be read the first time.
Supplementary Appropriation 2016-17 Act 2017.
The bill has been read, but we did the first reading already, didn't we? Oh, okay. The bill has been read a first time.
Madam Speaker, I move the second reading of the bill shortly entitled Supplementary Appropriation 2016-2017 Act 2017.
Madam Speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that the bill shortly entitled the Supplementary Appropriations 2016-2017 Act 2017 be read a second time. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. The bill will now be read a second time.
Supplementary Appropriation 2016-2017 Act 2017.
Third reading. No. Third reading. Well, we don't, well, wait a minute.
It should have been in committee stage. Was either, is on
Oh, okay, yes. You're absolutely correct. Pardon? Yes. So because you don't speak at this time, right? Okay. So we have to move that the bill goes to before the committee then. Yes, okay. Okay, the bill will now be submitted to the committee of the whole House to be considered clause by clause. House resumes, and I have to report that the bill shortly entitled the Supplementary Appropriation Act. Get it included, I just had it there. Yes, the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2016-2017, Act 2017, passed the committee stage with just a few minor amendments. The question is that the report on the committee be adopted. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. Now we do the third reading.
Madam Speaker, I move that the bill shortly entitled Supplementary Appropriation 2016-2017 Act 2017 be read a third time and passed.
Seconded, Madam Speaker.
It has been moved and it has been moved and seconded that the bill shortly entitled the Supplementary Appropriations 2016-2017 Act of 2017 be read a third time and passed. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
Supplementary Appropriation 2016-2017 Act 2017.
The bill has been read a third time and passed accordingly.
Madam Speaker, I move that the House be adjourned sine die.
Seconded, Madam Speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that this honorable House be adjourned sine die. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. This honorable House stands adjourned sine die.